wedding venue was Desert Island Country Club, and it's located in Rancho Mirage. This was the front entrance, and look at how iconic this entry is. Our guests actually didn't enter from here. They entered from the golf course, but they exited from here. And you can see this as you arrive, even if you're not entering from here. So it's so iconic. And I will tag our photographer. Her name is Zena. And in case you're looking for a wedding photographer, she was absolutely amazing. Nailed all the shots. Like, iconic. We actually had a shuttle service going to and from the Roombach Hotel, which was like about a 10-minute drive. And they dropped them off right at the entrance to this path that leads to the golf course. And we just loved how retro it was. We had them keep their umbrella, and guests were dropped off, and then they were entering the golf course. We had mariachi at arrival, so right at the bottom of that path that you just saw was mariachi waiting for everyone, and we also had like a little cocktail area. It was more champagne. We just had champagne at arrivals, and that way our guests could hang out there under umbrellas and some cocktail tables before they head to the ceremony, which was on the golf course. This was all of our guests being led by the mariachi to the ceremony location on the driving range, and it's just like such a cool vibe. It was an experience for our guests to start at the little arrivals area and then walk over to the ceremony to kind of create some anticipation and just like excitement. And this is what all of our guests were walking towards. It was the very end of the driving range. There was a hedge, and we just wanted to have our ceremony right there just because it was so pretty. You could see the palm trees, the mountains in the back, and it was just so beautiful. And this was behind where all of our guests were at the ceremony location. The bridal party actually came behind everyone in golf carts. We were waiting behind the trees before we did our walk down the aisle. And we're just so happy our friends Justin and Lauren got these beautiful photos on their disposable cameras for the weekend. Like, literally so beautiful. And then me and my mom walking down the aisle. I'm gonna cry all over again. And then this was once we were walking down the aisle, and it was just so cozy, so intimate, and it was just so beautiful. The sun was setting. It was the perfect location. I'm so happy we chose this area as our ceremony location. I did a little Q&A on Instagram already on this, so I'm just pulling my answers so you guys can see it. This was our cocktail hour location. I didn't grab any photos from here because I didn't have my phone the rest of the day. So I was just using any photos that friends and family had. I'm waiting for our photos from the photographer. So this is all I have. This is straight from their website. It's not from what my party looked like, but this is the cocktail hour. It's so beautiful. At the end of this, that's where our ceremony location was. So guests walked from there towards cocktail hour, and we had about like an hour and 15-minute cocktail hour. This was our ballroom. It is so retro, so vibey. It's very Palm Springs, and we kind of just played into the whole color scheme and didn't try to make it super traditional, so we stayed away from that. We did peach linens, which you can't really tell, but they're peach linens. They were more of like a sorbet pinky peach, which was so fun because it matched the floor, the walls, the ceiling, everything. And then we did green napkins for the tables, and we just had very simple florals, whites, and greens. And then we played into, the disco theme, and we brought in some more disco balls for our dance floor. And then this is the after party location. This is the parlor, and it was just such a cool vibe. This is where Graham and the boys were hanging out here for, a couple hours before we arrived. And we then started taking photos and all of that. But this was a cool hangout spot beforehand. And then, of course, the after party location. We moved everybody from that ballroom into this room, and it was just such a fun vibe. And that was a full description of our venue. We absolutely loved it. The team on site was so amazing and very responsive throughout the whole process. And if you need any recommendations on vendors, happy to share those as well. And a little fun fact, we were actually, I think, like the second or third wedding there. They were recently bought out by a new owner, and they imagined the whole place and redid a bunch of stuff. And I love what they did with the place. It's so cool. And when we first booked it, they had done 0 weddings there. So we were one of the first, which I think is super cool.